Hey guys, Sam here, and welcome to a FIFA experiment video. Of course, I did a lot of FIFA 17 experiments. This is actually an experiment I did in FIFA 17. I thought, why not bring it back and let's see what the results are in FIFA 18. The idea of this series pretty much is to see what would happen if we divided England into the north and the south.
Fucking northern monkeys.
I hate these fucking southern fairies.
Who else thinks that this guy looks exactly like Andy Tate? Holy shit. 10 teams in the Northern Conference, 10 in the Southern, the top 4 making it to like a playoff where the best from the North and the best from the South face each other in a final to see who reigns over the entire country of England. Last FIFA, it was Manchester United versus Chelsea, representing the North and South respectively, but of course we've had some teams go down and some teams come up into the Premier League, which means maybe the results are a little bit different. Also, if you remember, simulating in tournament mode is kinda crazy. If you're excited for this video and if you want to see more experiments, leave a like on the video. I've got a lot of ideas for experiments and bringing some FIFA 17 experiments back into FIFA 18 to see how the results are different. So if you're excited for that, leave a like on the video and let me know in the comments below what kind of experiments would you guys like to see. Okay, so taking a look at the North Division first, it consists of Burnley, Everton, the newly promoted Huddersfield, Leicester City, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, who won the whole thing last time, Newcastle United, Stoke City, and West Bromwich Albion. The teams in the Southern Division include Arsenal, Bournemouth, newly promoted Brighton, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Southampton, Spurs, Swansea, Watford, and West Ham. Alright, I was talking about crazy. Here is crazy. Halfway through the Northern Division, 9 games played. Stoke City undefeated, sitting at the top of the table. Leicester in 2nd, Newcastle in 3rd, Everton in 4th, Burnley in 5th. Then we get Liverpool in 6th, City in 7th, United in 8th. Followed by West Brom in 9th and Huddersfield without a win to their name in 10th. It's only 9 points separating 1st and 8th, so there's still a lot of time for the Manchester clubs to get back into this, and Liverpool as well, but absolute scenes that Stoke City are undefeated in the Northern Division halfway through. In the Southern Division, a similar story of some big teams struggling, with Watford sitting at the top of the table, 1 point ahead of Chelsea. Bournemouth are fighting for a top 4 spot with Spurs in 4th, Brighton in 5th, Swansea in 6th, Southampton in 7th, West Ham in 8th, Arsenal in 9th, and Palace in 10th. Moving back to the Northern Division, it is the end of the season, and that is how it ends. Absolutely crazy. Stoke City retaining that first place with just 2 defeats throughout the season. Liverpool in 2nd, Everton in 3rd, and Leicester in 4th. Those top 4 will now make it to a playoffs, meaning Newcastle United, Manchester City, Manchester United, Burnley, West Brom, and Huddersfield all miss out. Both Manchester clubs not even making it to the playoff part of this experiment. In the South, there was some balance restored as Chelsea took first in the South Division by a whopping 9 points. Chelsea, of course, made it to the final last time and lost it in extra time to Manchester United, so I'm sure they got a chip on their shoulder wanting to win it this time. Spurs in 2nd, and then a tied on points. Watford and Southampton fill out 3rd and 4th, and then a massive 10-point jump to 5th, Bournemouth, and then Swansea, Arsenal in 7th place, West Ham, Brighton, and Crystal Palace. Those top 4 are now going into the playoffs. Okay, so that is how the playoffs work. As you can see on the left-hand side, we have the Northern Division. On the right-hand side, we have the Southern Division. The first seed plays the 4th seed in their respective division. The second play the 3rd, and they will slowly move forward, which means we have Stoke versus Leicester for the 1st versus 4th in the North, and then a Merseyside derby with Liverpool and Everton as the 2nd and 3rd seed respectively. That is going to be a huge game, and the Northern Division looks like it could be quite an entertaining one. In the South, however, it is a bit more of a predictable first round, with Chelsea facing Southampton and Spurs facing Watford. And I say predictable, but at the end of the day, in tournament mode, anything can happen in tournament mode. I think it's pretty much guaranteed. Stoke City came first in the Northern Division. That pretty much just guarantees anything can happen in tournament mode. Okay, we'll start things off in the Northern Division. Stoke City versus Leicester, 1st versus 4th in the North. And I've just realized they've made it 5 subs per team. That's kind of triggering just to look at, let alone knowing that they only have 5 subs. But Let's get focused on the game. Okazaki has put Leicester up 1-0 in the 15th minute, and that is a huge goal to have. And if Leicester can get away with just a draw away from home, they could potentially upset Stoke here, because Stoke are the #1 team in the north, and they looked very, very good in the regular season, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Fuchs misses a penalty for Leicester, which could be huge. How much are Leicester going to pay for that penalty miss? Either way, they get a 1-0 away win, which is massive. Stoke with a lot of work to do here in the second leg. They are down 1-0, and they've got to start scoring some goals early in this game to get the confidence back in the team. Leicester City, it's all about hanging on to this lead. Can the 4th seed team from the north make it to the semi-finals? It's the second half, and Leicester have hung on so far. 1 hour in, Shaqiri makes it 1-0 in the 63rd, and we are back on level playing fields. Now you have to go back to that penalty miss from Fuchs. How costly will that be as we head into extra time? Drama in the first game of these playoffs, and Shaqiri makes it 2-0 in the 105th, and Leicester have absolutely no response for Stoke City, who pull out a 2-1 aggregate win and make it to the semi-finals. Okay, that was a pretty entertaining way to start off the tournament. However, I have a feeling the Merseyside derby is gonna maybe step up and live up to that expectation. Huge game here between the 2nd seed Liverpool and the 3rd seed Everton. And Lennon makes it 1-0 to Everton. Firmino makes sure that Everton can't celebrate for too long, just 3 minutes later making it 1-1. And I'm sure Everton would be happy with a draw here. Away from home, going into a home game in the second leg, I'm sure they take the 1-1 draw. Last 15 minutes, Sadio Mane makes it 2-1. And Liverpool now with a slight advantage going into the second leg. All right, second leg time. It is Liverpool with the 2-1 lead. Everton need to get a goal on the board early to get some confidence in the team. The longer this draws out, the longer Liverpool hang on, the better it is for Liverpool. And obviously the worse it is for Everton. Going into the halftime mark, it is a 1-0 lead to Liverpool. Sadio Mane makes it 3-1, and he's making it very difficult for Everton to get back into this game. They need 2 goals. And it's just Sadio Mane, man. It's just Sadio Mane time. He's making sure he's getting Liverpool across the line. It's a 4-1 aggregate win. So it'll be Liverpool versus Stoke in the Northern Division final. That is huge. Can Stoke actually pull out the upset? Or is it even an upset? Stoke are first in the division. Okay, so we know how things have stacked up in the north. It will be the 1st seed versus the 2nd seed. Now, is that going to happen in the southern division? It is Southampton 4th place versus Chelsea, who were in 1st and just lost 1 game all season and were just so good in the regular season. But it's Dusan Tadic who makes it 1-0 to Southampton in the 37th minute and has put Chelsea on the back foot, maybe making him think about something. Hazard brings it back to 1-1, and I'm sure Chelsea wouldn't be too upset with the 1-1 draw. Ward-Prowse with a penalty miss. How big is that going to be for Southampton? We've seen so many penalty misses already. Is that going to be a costly one? Second leg here, a 1-1 draw, and you got to think to yourself that this is going to be too hard for Southampton to bring back. Surely Chelsea will see out this job, and they will not drop the points, or they won't drop the goals, I should say, here against Southampton. But halfway through, Eden Hazard converts a penalty. Nathan Redmond with a quick response at the start of the second half in the 47th minute makes it 1-1. And Southampton have a chance here. Last 20 or so minutes, they got to hang on as long as they can and potentially get a goal, and Eden Hazard crushes the dream for Southampton to pull out an upset, and Chelsea on a 3-2 aggregate score makes it to the Southern Division finals. The question is, who will join Chelsea in the Northern Division final? Would it be the 3rd seed Watford or the 2nd seed Spurs? Will it be an all-London Southern Division final? That'll be interesting to see. But Watford are no pushovers. They've got a very, very talented team, and half an hour in, it is locked at 0-0 at the moment. And I'm sure Spurs wouldn't be too upset with a draw going into a home game, as the start of the second half now, about an hour into the game, it is still 0-0. And 1 goal here could be the major difference across both the legs as we enter the last 10 minutes. Will anybody score? No, it is a 0-0 draw. I'm sure Watford won't be happy with that at all. I'm sure Spurs aren't too bothered going into a home game with Watford not scoring at all. The only positive I think Watford can take from this is the fact that their goals now mean more than Spurs. If it's a draw, if it's a score draw, Watford go through. I think that's the only positive they can take, but Eriksen makes sure that Spurs get off to a good start, makes it 1-0 in the 18th minute. Carrillo misses a penalty for Watford, and Heung-min Son punishes and makes it 2-0 before the second half. About an hour gone into the game right now. Spurs look like they've got this in the bag. Cleverly makes it 2-1, and now you got to wonder, how big was that miss from Carrillo? I guess Vertonghen makes it 3-1, so even with the penalty, it would have been 2-2, but how much would the game have changed? These are questions that we'll never get to answer as Spurs face Chelsea in the Northern Division final. Okay, so quickly taking a look at taking a look at what the playoff bracket looks like right now. Stoke defeated Leicester 2-1, and they qualify to the Southern Division finals. They face Liverpool, who pretty much wiped the floor with Everton. That was one of the most comfortable of the 4 games, and they get through to face Stoke City. On the other side of things, in the South, Chelsea defeated Southampton 3-1, a little bit more difficult than the scoreline shows, and Spurs in the second game at home beat Watford 3-1. So in the North, it is the first seed versus the second seed, and in the South, same story, first and second facing each other. Let's kick things off first in the North. First seed Stoke, it's still strange to say, versus second seed Liverpool, and I really don't know what to expect from this game, guys, because Stoke have looked good, but it's Stoke at the same time, so I don't know what's going to happen here, but half an hour through, it is 0-0, with Stoke's home game being the first game, and half a game through, Liverpool, I would say, would be the most happy right now. One goal in this game at this point can change the entire matchup. With 15 minutes left, can any of these teams score? Wijnaldum in the 86th. I was ready to say that the game was over, but Liverpool with an away goal and a 1-0 lead going into the second leg here. Stoke look like they're in trouble. This could be where their run ends. It isn't over yet, but Liverpool have the 1-0 lead going to the home game now. Stoke, I think, need to do an absolute job. And it's Darren Fletcher in the 8th minute who makes it 1-0 to Stoke City. And hang on a minute, the game is back on, and all of a sudden, it looks like Liverpool are just shell-shocked. They've done absolutely nothing at Anfield here. I'm going to the second half. Stoke City with a 1-0 lead in this game. Now we are all locked even. What's going to happen? Last 20 minutes, Mane gets injured. Last 10 minutes, is anybody going to get a goal here? Or are we going to go to extra time? We're going to extra time, and the stakes right now are high. Who will be the best team in the North? Stoke or Liverpool? Stoke City through Sobi. Roberto Firmino brings it back, but that's 2 away goals for Stoke. Despite it being a 2-2 draw, that is 2 away goals for Stoke, and they actually win. They do it. They've won. They're the best team in the North. Unbelievable. Oh my goodness, can we top that? We're moving back into the South with Chelsea versus Spurs, but my word, I don't know if anything can just top to what I've seen. Whoever wins this faces Stoke. Absolutely incredible. I can't believe that. But let's just get switched into this game. A London derby here. Heung-min Son makes it 1-0 with Rudiger making it 1-1. And going into the second half, it looks like both these teams are quite even, which is not surprising at all. Morata makes it 2-1, not 1-0, 2-1 to Chelsea at the hour mark, with Hugo Lloris picking up a little bit of an injury. And, Chelsea pull out a 2-1 win, and I'm sure Spurs are not feeling good about that at all. Number 1 seed in the North made it to the final. Will the number 1 seed from the South make it as well? Chelsea with a 2-1 lead going into this game. It is definitely not over. Spurs could bring this back and could get through to the final and ruin Chelsea's plan. Of course, Chelsea last time lost in the final, so they definitely want to redeem themselves and at least make it there again. Half a game played. Going to the second half, Harry Kane makes it 1-0, and it is now 2-2 on aggregate. My word, 20 minutes left. Eriksen misses a penalty. David Luiz makes it 1-1. If it had stayed 1-0, Spurs were going through on an away goal. If Eriksen had scored and David Luiz had scored, we would have been going into extra time, but Eriksen with that penalty miss, so many penalty misses in this tournament so far. Chelsea versus Stoke as the final. Will Chelsea finally redeem themselves for the loss last time, or is their dream going to be shattered by Stoke? Let's touch base with the playoff bracket, with Stoke defeating Chelsea on away goals, the tightest of margins. They make it through to the final after a 2-2 aggregate score. Chelsea's job was not much easier, but they did get a clear-cut 3-2 win over 2 legs against Spurs. So the number 1 team in the north versus the number 1 team in the south. Stoke versus Chelsea. Last time this happened, the North Division team won, Manchester United. Can Stoke keep this title in the north, or will Chelsea redeem themselves? Let's find out, guys. There's no 2 legs, it's 1 leg, 1 game. Which of these teams will be crowned champions of England? Here it is, 90 minutes separates these 2 teams, and a English title here, a playoff title. I don't even know what I've called it, to be honest. I didn't actually give it a name, but let's just get focused now. 10 minutes into the game, and I'm already feeling the pressure here. It would just be unbelievable if Stoke pull out a win here against Chelsea, and they are 1-0 up 31 minutes in. Oh my word, going into the second half, Chelsea on the back foot. They bring one back through Pedro, and that is an important goal starting the second half like that, and all of a sudden it is all deadlocked. 10 minutes left. Will anybody get a goal here? Are we going to extra time? Well, of course we're going to extra time. Why wouldn't we? Last time we went into extra time. This time we're going to extra time. Soap here again. This guy's been absolutely crazy for Stoke. Makes it 2-1, and they've won. They've actually done it. They've defeated Chelsea, and Stoke win the whole damn playoffs. I cannot believe what I'm watching right now. I told you guys, tournament mode is crazy. And that's my proof right there. Stoke have won. And there it is official. Stoke City, keeping the title in the north, have defeated Chelsea, who have now gone to the final twice. And heartbreakingly, they've missed out twice on winning the playoffs. My goodness, congratulations to Stoke, it has to be said. A tough fought playoffs. They could have slipped up at so many times, but fate was on their side, and when it mattered the most, they made it count in the final against Chelsea. So he was just the MVP for Stoke. Absolutely no doubts about it. MVP for Stoke. For Chelsea, they looked so good all season, even through the playoffs. They looked the most comfortable team. And then they just face Stoke, and it all capitulates because Stoke are just that good. That is the end of today's video, guys. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like on the video. Leave a like for that crazy result. Absolutely bananas. And if you're new around here, subscribe as well. But that is the end of today's experiment. Would you like to see this with other leagues? And also, just in the comments below, let me know what other kinds of experiments you want to see. I will be starting to bring experiments back to the channel as we go through the rest of this FIFA cycle. So if you're excited for that, definitely leave a like on the video, guys. But that is the end of today's experiment. I hope you did enjoy today's video. I hope you had a good day. I'll see you guys in the next one very soon. Keep it real. Man, I can't believe Stoke won that. It's gonna be a good video.